Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, we are coming to you straight from Theatre for the New City. This evening's performance is part of a live reading series that Theatre for the New City presents online every Monday at 7 p.m. So, don't forget to donate to the little theaters. We are already willing and able to open as soon as the powers that be give us the word. But for now, we are online. And tonight, we present a live reading of a new play by Charles Busch, directed by Andress. It is called Visitors in the Dark.
Hello and welcome to TNC's On the Air's live stream reading of Visitors in the Dark by Charles Busch. I'm Carl Andress and I am your narrator this evening. The virtual curtain is going up, so I'm going to head backstage, but you'll still hear my voice. Here I go. We begin. Scene 1. It is Tuesday, November 9th, 1965, 5:15 p.m. The front room of a railroad flat apartment on the first floor of a tenement building in the West Village of New York City. The occupant of the apartment is Trina. She is a woman of intensity and creative passion. Her timeless bohemian clothes give her the appearance of a peasant woman in the 17th century Dutch painting. She's a genuine artist. Her haunting, beautiful paintings line the walls. The offbeat furnishings are items found on the sidewalk by someone with a keen, discerning eye. A fireplace mantle has been covered with a mosaic of broken pieces of mirror. The sun has just set, and Trina has one lamp on in the dark living room. She's joined by Lou, a robust, good-natured woman dressed in men's casual wear.
My days there are numbered. I've always said it. UPS handling is for the young. I got that damn chronic bursitis, aggravated from my altercation with the manager of the Pink Teacup. And it's also no help I was born with a slight, very slight scoliosis of the spine. Throws everything out of kilter. Good thing I'm a jock, otherwise I'd be saddled with a limp. Okay, Trina, what's up?
What do you mean, what's up?
Ever since I returned from the can, you've been giving me the silent treatment.
And why would I do that?
I have no idea. You're an enigma.
You were in that bathroom a very long time. I don't want to turn this into an issue, but
What?
it would never occur to me in a million years to visit someone in this building and ask to use their toilet. Not when I can easily return to my own apartment and enjoy the privacy of my own bathroom.
I had to go. You want I should have an accident?
It was that much of an emergency. Huh? You couldn't make it upstairs.
It's 3 flights up. I have a tilted pelvis. When I gotta go, I gotta go.
I understand that, but in the future, I would just prefer if you would use your own toilet. Huh?
You're serious about this?
For a long time, I wanted to bring this up.
Oh, this has preyed upon you?
In a way. 2 out of 3 times you come over, you go to the bathroom, and you stay in there for a good 15 minutes. As I said, I don't want to turn this into an issue.
15 minutes? I stay in there 15 minutes. You set a kitchen timer?
You're in long enough for me to wonder what the hell's going on.
The things that occupy your mind. I swear I will never sit on your toilet again.
Thank you, I'd appreciate that.
But let me say that you have gravely insulted me, Trina.
Oh, have I?
Yes, gravely. I don't let anyone, I don't care who, the Queen of England or the manager of the Pink Teacup, go after me like that. I don't take any guff. I'll leave. I'll go back upstairs. I don't need to be treated like some low-life scum who you deign to...
All right. You're so sensitive. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I bring this up because you're not the only one who does this. There's something about my bathroom. Maybe this apartment. I don't know. Everyone I let in here suddenly has this uncontrollable urge to do their business. The FedEx delivery man, the guy from the Census Bureau. Is it the decor? Maybe it's my personality, but something weird is going on in here.
There's something weird going on in your head, and it's symbolic.
Symbolic of what?
It's symbolic of your antisocial tendencies, that this would even occur to you.
I am not antisocial. I'm pleasant and courteous to all the kooks in this building, except for the evil witch on the top floor to whom I do not speak.
Yvonne is not an evil witch. Once upon a time, you fraternized.
Never, we never did.
I used to run into you and Sam at her restaurant.
That does not constitute a friendship. And it wasn't her restaurant. She was the hostess.
But people went there because of her, to hear her sing her French songs.
In English, she sang French songs in English.
I appreciated that. I don't speak French.
Neither can she.
But she is French. Are you implying that her accent is bogus?
Blue. My husband was fluent. On more than one occasion, Sam tried to engage Yvonne in conversation in her native tongue. Her French language skills were strictly limited to omelet and touche. She's a big phony.
The lamp begins flickering.
See, I tell you, she has powers.
It's the
antiquated wiring in this building, ready to explode.
lamp goes out. The room is plunged into darkness.
That goddamn landlord, old rotten fuse box, goddamn Franco!
Trina, would you mind not using the Lord's name in vain?
Lou, I would hope that the Lord would make an allowance for the situation we find ourselves in.
Trina crosses to a small battered chest of drawers. She takes out 2 flashlights out of the top drawer and turns them on. She gives one to Lou, who is looking out the window.
The street lights are out and the restaurant across the street.
Phone's not working. Dead. I'm telling you. Something weird is going on.
This is terrible. You think it's a national disaster? Maybe the whole country is without power.
They never changed the battery in my transistor radio.
You're the most crisis prepared person in our Western Hemisphere. You don't have extra batteries?
I'm low on cash. Look, I'll get my lanterns and soon we'll be lit.
Don't leave me alone in here.
You got a flashlight?
That won't do. I've told you about my phobia.
I know you have an issue with raisins.
Raisins give me anxiety, but nothing matches my fear of the dark. I sleep with the light on in every room and keep the TV going all night. Thank God for the test pattern.
Here I thought you were supposed to be such a tough customer. Take no guff from anyone.
I take no guff. I've worked as a bouncer. You've uncovered my Achilles heel.
You have backup supplies? I bet you don't.
You'd think I would with my compulsions. I'm an asshole. My one flashlight's broken.
Lou, you gotta be prepared lest we forget the Bay of Pigs.
Why do I have to live on the 3rd floor? The stairwell in this building is creepy under the best of circumstances. And my apartment faces an air shaft. I'm even denied the stars. Cards on the table. Trina, I'm at your mercy. Can I stay here till the lights come on?
If it comes to it, you can spend the night. And feel free to use the toilet.
Oh, what a pal you are. Good neighbor, Sam. I'm suddenly feeling very emotional. I don't take my friendships lightly, and you've been a loyal friend.
That's why we're here.
But you've gone beyond the call of duty. When my mom died, I'll never forget your kindness. I had friends who found my mourning excessive.
Your sobbing is very forceful. I know what it is to lose a mother. Now, how long are we going to stand here gabbing? Lie down, relax.
I'll come with you. I can help.
Sweetie, you'll get my way. Just lie down.
Lou lies down on the sofa, shining her flashlight. Trina goes into the next room.
This is a comfortable sofa you got. You found this on the street, didn't you? Oh, refried beans. I could sleep very well on this tonight. Do I have a choice? Trina, you know, I was once dragged into a haunted house at Coney Island. Can you hear me? I told my friends I couldn't do it, but they wouldn't take no for an answer. Oh, how scary can it be? Plenty. Turns out the whole thing is in the dark, except for when the monsters are jumping out at you. So we're squeezed into a narrow passage, feeling our way in the pitch black. And my smart-ass friends pushed me in front, making me the leader. I couldn't figure out which way to turn. I panicked, froze like a corpse with rigor mortis. And the whole crowd was yelling at me, "Move it, move it." And I screamed at them, "I can't move. Can't you understand English?" The management was forced to turn on all the lights. And there were the monsters, a bunch of sweaty high school kids wearing bad Halloween makeup. Yeah. I ruined it for everyone.
Trina returns with lit lanterns. Now the room is filled with light.
This better?
Hallelujah. How did you get those lanterns out so fast?
I keep them right under the kitchen sink. I've got all my stock at the ready. You don't want to be rummaging around when Armageddon comes, huh?
I gotta get over my phobia about the dark.
You do, you really do. The nighttime is when magical things occur. That's when you might be visited by pixies and elves and fairies.
I like when you get whimsical, Trina.
You have to be patient. After a minute or so, your vision adjusts and you see what's important. Mm. What time is it anyway?
A little after 5, that's all.
A little after 5. 5. What's the exact time?
5:18, 5:19.
The lights went out at 5:15. 5:15. It's early, but it's prematurely dark. That would make sense.
What makes sense?
This is the 9th, isn't it? The second week of November.
What are you trying to figure out?
11-9-1965 515. It's a sequence, isn't it? It's a sequence.
What do you mean a sequence?
I'm trying to work this out.
She crosses to the bookshelf and takes out a folder stuffed with mimeographed pages.
It's a sequence, a numerical sequence. Oh,
in her excitement, she drops the folder, spilling out all the papers.
Yeah, look what I did. I'm shaking. I'm trembling.
Lou helps her to pick them up.
Be careful. I have them in order by date.
What is this?
The monthly newsletter I subscribe to keeps me informed on the latest international scientific studies. These numbers are familiar, but I may have the sequence wrong. The day might go before the month. His logarithms show a sequence of numbers.
Who's he?
Richard Pavlich, a noted astrophysicist. He's on the faculty at Princeton. I think it was the August newsletter.
I could run out to the corner. Maybe the bodega's open and I can buy some batteries for your transistor and we'll find out what's happening.
Why bother? What we hear on the news is what they want us to hear.
Such as a power line is down?
That's what they'll say.
You think it's something else?
I have my suspicions. I can't find what I'm looking for. Not with you here.
You're not suggesting this could be the handiwork of the Soviets?
It could be many things, and not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, I know where you're going with this, and it has something to do with little green men from you know where. It usually does.
They're not little or green or men as we know them.
I don't want to get into this with you. Not now.
Maybe we should put one of the lanterns near the window.
Why?
It can act as a beacon.
For who?
For those who need to find us. They would choose this night. Clear and mild. The wind velocity is low.
Oh, no. You think we're going to be invaded by creatures from outer space? Is that what you think?
Invaded. You've watched too many cheap science fiction movies. This is real life.
But what's their angle, Trina? A takeover? A coup d'etat?
Why go to the negative? It could be something miraculous, an advancement that mankind can't even fathom.
How do you know they won't vaporize us?
They're the good guys. We're the enemy, Lou. We're the aggressors. They exude a magnetic energy that encourages knowledge and artistic expression. There is a substantiated theory that Michelangelo, Isaac Newton, George Gershwin, and Jean Harlow were visitors.
Not Gershwin. Rhapsody in Blue? I don't get it. You're such an intelligent woman, an acclaimed artist. Your paintings are in the Museum of Modern Art.
A single drawing, not a painting.
A gallery sells your work.
They haven't sold anything lately.
Claire Trevor, an Oscar winner, collects your stuff.
Claire's been good to me.
You've been written up in magazines. I don't know how you can believe in all this mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo? Hey, do I scoff at your belief in Jesus and you're munching on his flesh and drinking his blood every week? Do I?
You do scoff.
You respect my late husband as a writer of science fiction, do you not?
Sam was a great writer. The animal stories were my favorites.
Yeah, but it was his science fiction for which he was lauded. Because of this, he was connected to an underground network of rogue CIA agents and scientific personnel. Lou, there are literally thousands of pages of classified documents hidden from public scrutiny. The data indicates a visitation very soon. 515, 515.
Where would they land? Central Park?
The military had come out in full force. Now, it has to be somewhere unexpected. Pavlich's research has provided numbers that not only predict time, but place.
They're coming here? Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Trina returns to the folder and removes a piece of paper.
I don't want to alarm you, but take a gander.
It's all numbers. I'm terrible at math.
We can't expect them to communicate in a verbal language. Therefore, all communication has been computed into numerical code. 407-37470 and 407-400-3097. Do you know what that is? The latitude and longitude of this corner.
This actual corner?
Read the next numbers. 268-12464, our building address.
12th Street? What's the 4?
We're at the corner of West 4th Street.
I think of us as nearer to Greenwich Avenue. What are the next numbers? 64.
Roll your eyes. But what are the last two digits of my phone number?
64. Did you request those numbers?
No, it was at random, the quirk of Bell Telephone. Now do you think I'm a crackpot? I am the electrical force field. I'm the conduit.
Maybe the aliens are on their way to another planet and just want to stop here to use your can.
Very amusing. How will they find me?
They've got your address.
The street is so cramped. There's no place to even park a Volkswagen.
If there's a will, there's a way. I still don't get the purpose of their visit.
Investigation, research.
Outer space has never been an interest of mine. Something tells me if I went up there, I'd be restless.
Restless? Oh, I would be in a perpetual state of inspiration. As an artist, I would be born anew.
You're always searching, always digging, never at peace.
About digging into yourself. It's daunting when all you have is a germ of an idea, but you grit your teeth and press on. It's tedious. You get discouraged, want to throw the whole thing out, but you got to keep going. And then slowly, the wagon wheels start turning. You pull out of the mud and off you go. No longer takes discipline. It's an escape. The Inquisition couldn't drag you away. All the time you're thinking, please let me know when to stop. Don't let me get fussy and overwork it. And you do know when to stop. You know exactly when to stop.
Trina, that was lovely.
In a new world, I would experience that again. When you're young, you're so fearless. I never second guessed myself. Sometimes I was pleased, sometimes not, but I pressed on. I was full of this youthful arrogance that one day I would just keep learning and do better. And one day, I would amaze myself.
Wonderful to have such self-assurance. I always felt I was lacking.
For that, I must credit my mother. Not a word of disapproval or criticism, just affection and endless encouragement. As a kid, I would draw pictures based on old photographs of her as a young girl. I'd surround her with flowers and crescent moons and stars. I gave her an idealized vision of her past. Oh, she was so proud that I saw things in a way that others couldn't.
You do, from the large to the small. This table, you found it on the street, didn't you?
I'm a scavenger. The table is Moroccan. How I got all the way to West 12th Street, I don't know. Another of the universe's grand mysteries. Oh,
Oh, what now?
my sister. My sister Hope. She must have been leaving work just when the lights went out. She works in Midtown, but she lives way, 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 way up in the Bronx. Oh, she must be berserk, poor thing. I bet the subways aren't running. She could be trapped in the tunnel.
Oh, they'd have to sedate me. I don't think I've ever really met your sister other than, in the hallway. Hi, how are you? Nice seeing you.
She doesn't come here often. We have a difficult relationship. We're both widowed, but it hasn't brought us any closer.
She's a saleswoman at Saks, isn't she?
Orbacks. She's a fashion consultant at the store. In her own way, she's very successful. Whatever I have, she covets. An idea, a knickknack, people. She's stolen my friends.
How could she steal your friends?
She's seductive. If she were here right now, you would think she was absolutely adorable, funny, attractive, well-informed. She lures you into her web. Now, don't get me wrong, I only desire the best for her. Poor thing's not well.
What's wrong with her?
She suffers from a rare form of stomach cancer. Thankfully, it's slow growing. It's very worrisome. And she's a brave soul. With all my heart, I want her to be healthy and happy. The 3 subways and a bus transfer uptown. No way could I handle her tonight of all nights.
If you were going to hear from her, you would have heard from her.
End of scene. Scene 2, an hour later. It's an hour later and Trina's sister Hope is seated in a big armchair sipping a glass of wine. She's attractive, up-to-date, smart, fun, and a powder keg of emotion. Her shoes are placed on the floor beside her. Trina instinctively assumes her lifelong role of caring, sympathetic older sister.
I am forever lecturing my ladies. Don't stuff your pocketbook as if you're fleeing the ancient homeland. I mean, be selective. Well, look at me, the great sage. Had I known I'd be shacking up here, I would have brought more than the November issue of Vogue and Anatomizer of Prince Machiavelli. Well, I bet you don't have an extra toothbrush.
I have one from the dental clinic still in the wrapper. It must have been a madhouse in Midtown when the lights went out.
Oh, well, there was a euphoria. Everyone's on their best behavior. It's very sweet how Manhattanites are coming to each other's aid, And you, I know how you are about house guests.
I should let you sleep in a doorway.
This is when a husband comes in handy. Jack would have found a way to rescue me. He had the rare ability to make a calamity a romantic adventure. But I have a dear sister who has provided me with shelter. It feels like fate meant us to be together, We need this, you and I.
When's the last time you two spent the night under the same roof?
The last time we shared a bedroom in our parents' apartment. Must have been when I was 17 and got my own place.
And you never spent the night together again?
Why would we?
For fun? In times of grief? I don't know how it works. I'm an only child.
My sister is intensely private. Her side of the bedroom was always her secret domain, and she's the same way about this apartment.
Try using her crapper.
And forget about venturing into her artist studio. Oh, the forbidden zone. She'd tell Picasso to butt out.
That's a very accurate assessment.
Trina, from my heart, I'm beholden. Although I've also bailed you out more than a few times. I'm lucky I didn't leave work 5 minutes earlier. Oh, I would have been trapped in the subway. And here I was so annoyed that one of my clients, Mrs. Buckman, was being nitpicky in her fitting. We're arranging her wardrobe for a European cruise. Next time she comes in, I'm going to get down on my knees and kiss her Playtex panty girdle.
A couple of years ago, I won a free cruise in a raffle and took my mom to Puerto Rico.
Oh, well, I shouldn't dish one of my best clients. You know, she's a charming woman. She has a pretty face and a cute waist, good legs, but the poor thing, has an ass. I should talk. I'm not exactly Audrey Hepburn, but Elaine Buckman has an ass as wide as a Castro convertible. The current styles do nothing for her. The solution is a peplum. And when was the last time you've seen anything with a peplum? We've given her lots of jackets, but they have to be nipped in at the waist. Otherwise, the poor dear will resemble a cigarette machine. Trina, are you all right? Your mind seems to be somewhere else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, you do that a lot, you know, and it's borderline insulting.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Well, forget it. You know, this wine isn't bad, even if it's unchilled. Please don't tell me you found it in your usual shopping venue, the trash.
The bottle has never been opened. The cork was still in it.
Well, it has a funny taste.
It didn't 5 seconds ago. Maybe you shouldn't be drinking. It can't be good for your condition.
Oh, wine in moderation can be very therapeutic.
I don't know why I pulled it out of the garbage. I never drink. Maybe it'll steady my nerves. Here, pour a smidgen more in the tumbler.
Oh, Trina, did you ever hear from the High School of Art and Design? They give you any classes to teach?
Didn't pan out. Don't have a degree.
But that's absurd. With your renown?
It's their loss. She's a great teacher. She's taught me so much.
Oh, you paint?
Oh, please. All I know from painting is Sherwin-Williams. That is, until your sister started teaching me art appreciation, from the Renaissance to the craziest modern stuff. She's my professor and my best friend.
Oh.
Been my privilege. You're not just my only friend in this building. I think you may be just my only friend, period.
I didn't realize that you two were so tight.
Oh, I bet we talk at least twice a day. I'm not a big laugher, but you consistently crack me up.
I'm a joker. I get a kick out of appealing to your silly side.
My sister, the reigning Miss World is coming to an end, has a silly side? Lou, how is it that up till now, we've only exchanged pleasantries in the hall? How is that possible?
Well, each time you seem to be in a rush.
Yeah, it's my loss. You're very good company. But then to me, you know, star for simulation, everyone in the village is good company. You can inhale the bohemian spirit. And my sister here, of course, fits right in. Look how she's rigged up, Rembrandt's mother-in-law. It's fantastic.
All thrift shop? Some of this might have been a theater costume. I don't know. The skirt was...
And you, Lou, look at you.
Don't look here. My wardrobe is strictly Goober from the Andy Griffith Show.
I wouldn't change a thing. You have a very individual style.
I have no style. I shop in the Husky Boys department.
No, stand up. Stand up.
Lou stands up and strides up and down the room, imitating a cadaverous high fashion model.
I was considering flying to Paris to try my hand at modeling.
You won't believe me, but I think you border on chic.
Oh, come on.
You know what looks good on you? You know. Very few people do. The pants have a great fit. The top.
It's not a top, it's a shirt.
I'm liking the pattern, the cut, and I'm mad about the shoes.
Oh, the shoes I spend money on. I have the worst feet. Fallen arches, hammer toes.
Oh, I've ruined mine wearing high heels. I can't believe I walked down here all the way from 35th Street.
Well, you should take those stockings off and soak your feet.
Oh.
Trina, you have Epsom salts in a basin? If you don't, I can run upstairs and get some.
Hold the basin and the Epsom salts. First things first, I want you to go to my closet, put on a robe and slippers. Just get out of those street clothes.
Yeah, maybe I should.
The slippers are under my bed. Go on.
Lou, I hope you can stick around for a while. My sister and I work best when there's a third party present.
Well, I was planning on sleeping over. My apartment is uninhabitable, but now with you here, well,
No, nothing's changed. Her Highness can have her own bed and you and I can share the sofa. Our heads at either end. It'll be a hoot. We'll have like a bachelor girl slumber party.
See what I mean?
no.
She's doing it.
She's doing what?
She's flirting with you.
She is not.
Sharing the sofa, carrying on about your clothes, your shirt. Come on now.
Is this shirt so bad?
You look great on Ernest Borgnine. It looks great on you. High fashion, it's not.
She's flirting with me? Oh, I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, don't get carried away. She's not gay. But as soon as she ascertained what great friends we were, there was that covetous glint.
It's called being nice.
It's too late. You're hooked.
Not.
I can believe you were so ready to race up the stairs to get your Epsom salts. I thought you were terrified of the dark stairwell.
I said I'd do that, didn't I?
Then you'll be doing her every bidding. You'll be siding with her against me. I'll be turned into the heavy. She has insight. She'll know how to get to you.
I'm nobody's stooge.
Hope poses in the doorway as a sexy pinup girl. She's removed her dress and is wearing her full slip a la Elizabeth Taylor in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and Trina's fluffy bedroom slippers. She's dragging Trina's robe on the ground.
Well, what do you think, Lou? Is this what the best dressed house guest wears?
Put that robe on. With the bright lights, everybody on the street can see you in here.
No one is puritanical like the avant-garde. Where'd you get this thing?
You wouldn't want to know.
I'm so lucky my sister was home. I mean, what would I have done if you'd been out at some she art gallery opening?
That's not my crowd. I used to have a lot of friends in the city.
Yeah, when it was Dutch farmland.
Yeah, what about the travel agent and his wife on West End Avenue you were so crazy about?
Oh, we had a falling out. They're terrible people. I don't know. I don't have any friends left in Manhattan, not since Jack put me out in cold storage up in the Bronx. My late husband, he wanted to be near his relatives. I shouldn't complain. I mean, it's a big apartment, a real apartment, not like this, southern exposures, and I have room to paint.
Oh, you're a painter too? So much talent in one family.
Well, I'm a gifted amateur, but my sister, from early childhood, she was brilliant. And of course, she was encouraged by our mother, who was a frustrated artist.
Mama didn't draw or paint.
She had the soul of an artist, but she was trapped in a stultifying life. She worshiped my sister and her talent to the exclusion of her husband and even her other child.
She adored you.
Oh, she admired my neck. I was told I had an aristocratic clavicle. How does she do it? She mixes watercolor, pastel, ballpoint, pen, crayons. It looks like you melt the crayons. I mean, how do you keep the paper from burning?
Trial and error. I experiment for a long time until I figure it out.
She's not going to tell me.
Trina goes to the window and looks up at the sky.
A shrink would have a field day with your subject matter. Every painting is of children with physical infirmities. Look, there's one peeking out of the doorway with a crutch, and two kids hiding under the table with arms missing.
Oh, there's a girl with a leg brace.
I don't know why I draw these kids. Starts out as an angelic boy with golden ringlets. By the time I'm finished, he has a hair lip.
It's a recurring theme, a motif.
Yeah, she's unique. This table, so evocative. And you found it on the sidewalk. Unbelievable. I put it on one of my large paintings. The two whores checking out their horoscopes in Morocco. And what about this fabulous mantle? I mean, where did you get the idea to cover it with smashed fragments of mirror? I tried doing it, but I finally had to give up. Oh, hey, you think Gloria will be dropping by?
Who's Gloria?
I haven't heard from her in ages. Not since I last saw Genevieve.
Who's Genevieve?
I might not recognize them either if they knocked on the door.
After so long, would we have anything in common with them?
Were they artists?
It's a game, Lou. As children, we are constantly fighting, and so aggressively that an aunt of ours suggested, for the sake of our personal safety, that we invent characters for ourselves named Gloria and Genevieve, who were best friends. Somehow, under the guises of these invented girls, we would have a temporary ceasefire.
She exaggerates. Kids fight. We had a deep bond, deeper than most siblings. We were a team.
Your perspective is somewhat tinted with sentimentality, but that's fine.
You don't think we were ever close?
I love you, Hope, but you gotta admit, we've had a tumultuous relationship.
Well, nothing's wrong with tumultuous. No, we weren't Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm and Pollyanna. We squabbled, but we were each other's most trusted confidants.
No, to grow up with a confidant. Hey, Trina, you're going to confide in your sister about the big news about the, you know what?
Wait, what? Big news? What big news?
I don't know what she's talking about. It's a level of sugar that makes a wine dry. Isn't that right? Correct? Huh?
Is something going on I should know about?
I meant my news about me. Hold on to your hats. It appears extremely likely that I will be appointed West Village Democratic District Leader.
You are?
I thought you heard this already.
I'm just taken aback that it's a fait accompli. For as long as I've known Lou, she's been involved in local politics.
Well, mind you, this is a non-paying volunteer position, and I'm the only one who seems to want it.
Hey, it's a stepping stone to an elected office. Congratulations.
The resume of my crummy menial jobs, the lumber yard, the bus terminal, working for UPS. I wish my sainted mother was alive. She was convinced that I had a future as a public servant. And with all due modesty, I believe I can instigate change, make a noise, shake things up.
You're the near of a politician.
But if I'm going to hold public office, I have to turn over a new leaf. I got a temper on me.
You better keep those four-letter words folded in wax paper in the Frigidaire.
I'm learning to count to 10. Take some deep breaths. Turn the other cheek.
So what's holding up the works? I mean, when will this all be announced?
Well, I still require the endorsement of the Village Independent Democrats.
Oh.
Actually, it depends on a tenant in this building who lives on the top floor. She's a former vice president, and her support is essential to my receiving this appointment.
Yvonne?
Oh, I've chatted with her several times coming into the building. She's divine.
She's a monster.
She's glamorous.
She finds her wigs outside in the garbage.
Yeah, the same garbage where you have furnished your entire apartment.
For the record, she did not fish the wig out of the garbage. Chubby on the third floor gave her that wig when he retired his drag act.
If she's a former vice president, what influence could she have on whether or not you get the job?
Well, Yvonne's now on the advisory board. She doesn't even show up at meetings, but she's what they call an eminence grisée. The club looks up to her as a holy deity.
Yeah, Satan. Lou, I wouldn't trust her. Yvonne is out for only one person, and that's Yvonne.
I wish I could see a way to making a change. I'm buried alive at Orbax.
Well, it sounds like an impressive job.
Oh, I'm a fashion coordinator for a second-tier department store. I give suggestions to my clients, but most of the time I just have to cave in to give these ladies their stupefying bad taste. I'm there to make a sale. I'm a prostitute. Instead of a blowjob, I tell my clients a size 12 instead of an 8.
You have so many.
I was never an actress. I took acting lessons. The Stanislavski method was not for me. Dredging up all those painful memories, my former lovers, my childhood, my mother, her coldness toward me. Let's just say she was not a woman prone to physical affection.
I remember holding you on her lap and hugging you.
Oh, she had to occasionally, just for appearance's sake. In acting class, I was forced to relive her benign neglect. I walked around with a disfiguring cyst on my cheek for 3 weeks before she even noticed it. Another time, she abandoned me for hours in a used bookstore. The police had to be summoned. Oh, excuse me?
What?
I I heard that sigh.
Did I do that?
Yes, you did. Please forgive me, Trina, for boring you.
I swear I didn't sigh. I was breathing.
Of course, you're bored. I'm stuck in a groove rehashing my childhood because choosing a brassiere for a proctologist wife from White Plains has its conventional limitations.
Come on now, Hope, please.
Oh, I'm a lowly vendeuse. I'm not the great genius recognized by the Museum of Modern Art.
I didn't hear anything, but I've got tinnitus in one ear.
Yeah, they could hear it in Grant's tomb.
Well, maybe I did sigh and didn't realize it. I'm so sorry, Hope. You're right. You're right. I would hate if someone did that to me. Please accept my apology.
I have so
Will you
much.
accept my apology?
I have so much to offer, but you stick me in this drawer when you shut away, where you shut away nuisances. I'm an unwanted distraction from your work.
I've supported you during every crisis. You can't say I haven't.
Oh, you feel that you have to deal with me. Well, I had a husband who didn't feel he had to deal with me. I don't know what sort of cold intellectual arrangement you had with Sam, but Jack and I were hopelessly in love, physically passionate until the day he died. And I'm not a reckless who frightens people away. I have friends uptown. Yes, uptown in the Bronx, who you can dismiss as bourgeois, dreary, dull, limited. They might not be part of your beautiful people like your friends showing off their latest opus or sipping aperitifs or dining on foie gras, but they adore me. Faithful friends who I can depend on and they can depend on me.
I want that for you.
Well, how generous. I thought tonight, this special night, we could rediscover the girls we were, the bond we shared. I mean, that's why I came here.
You came here because you were stranded. The subways and buses aren't running.
Well, I was making the trek down from 35th Street. I had time to reflect. We're both lonely widows. This is the perfect opportunity for us to reconnect, but you're so blocked up. I can't reach you. Are you in there?
Hope, I'm just trying to get through the night.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm not the one to help you. The individual, ironically, who could be beneficial is Yvonne. You've got this fascinating lady residing upstairs.
She has pitted herself against me.
It's not a priority for this building to have a bomb shelter. She has every right to put her foot down.
I thought you were on my side. I've done all the paperwork. Have the bomb shelter budgeted down to the last penny. We're ready to go. But the witch upstairs has put the scare into everyone that Frankel will then raise the rent.
She lives on a minuscule fixed income.
This is something personal. Whatever I want, she has to oppose. Well, she can have this rotten, crumbling building to her stuff. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Where else are you going to pay 70 bucks a month? Where else are you going to pay 70 bucks a month rent?
I have contacts. I have options. You'd be surprised.
If you had cultivated a friendship with Yvonne, she might have been sympathetic. She might even have invited you up to see her roof garden.
Has anyone ever seen it?
How could they? The only access to the roof is through Yvonne's kitchen.
Frankel's been up there. Told me it was the most enchanting roof garden he'd ever seen.
How so?
It's a warren of different nooks. You can get lost in it, he said. There are vine-covered trellises and an antique stone fountain. The flowers are wild and abundant, and the colors are dazzling all year round. Every day, I try to picture what flowers are in bloom.
Every day?
I have an artistic sensibility. Can you comprehend what agony it is for me to know that something so glorious is only 6 flights up?
She's tried to sneak in.
You have?
Sure I have. Once when a guy from a nursery was delivering manure, he let it slip that Yvonne was at the orthopedist. He was letting himself in. So I followed him up there. But witch that she is, she showed up just before I could reach the garden and booted me out. That's happened several times. She has powers.
She doesn't. She's a lonely old woman.
Something dark and sinister about her. Otherworldly.
You're obsessed with this lady. It's an obsession.
Let's be magnanimous and invite her down. She might be feeling very isolated on the 6th floor in the dark.
And she'll be so appreciative that she'll reciprocate and invite us in to see her garden.
He's a phony with a French accent as fake as Monopoly money.
You want me to go up there and broker a truce? She might respond to me. I'm presentable and, well, I was presentable before I put this on. I mean, what apartment is she in?
Suddenly you're so intent on seeing Yvonne's garden.
Well, you piqued my interest.
It's just a roof garden.
You're clearly fascinated by it.
I have many fascinations. Among them a tour of the Paris sewers.
What apartment is she in?
It doesn't matter.
What apartment is she in?
It doesn't matter.
What apartment is she in?
It doesn't matter.
She's at the end of the friggin' hall, 6D. Suddenly I'm Miss Louise, the kindergarten teacher.
6D. 6D. Oh, how could I be so dense? D is the fourth letter of the alphabet. 6, 4.
She's finally flipped.
Trina frantically takes out the paper from the folder again and examines the numbers.
268. 12464. The 6th floor. 6D is the only apartment with access to the roof. Do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? The garden. It's the garden.
What about the garden?
Yvonne's garden is the perfect landing strip for the visitors.
The visitors? Well, who's coming over? Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. You've connected this blackout with the arrival of flying saucers from Mars. Well, of course you would. Yeah, of course.
I've been so blinded by my hatred for Yvonne that I haven't seen the obvious. We must get access to that roof tonight. But Hope, you shouldn't be the one to broker the treaty. Now, you're a stranger. She knows Lou. Run up there and invite her down. Now!
Run up 6 flights of stairs with my fallen arches?
So you want Lou to ask Yvonne if the Martians can use her garden as a heliport. I'm glad I'm not ringing that bell.
They're not from Mars. We won't tell Yvonne the whole story right away. No, we'll reveal it to her in increments. Lou, tell her unusual circumstances have forced us to put aside any discord between us. Tell her we've opened a bottle of wine. I bet she's a tippler. Get up there before she goes to bed.
Go on, Lou. If it'll bring them together, it'll be worth it.
For you, Trina, I'll face the darkness and begin negotiations.
Yeah, don't think I'm not aware of your own personal stake in this.
What personal stake?
It's a savvy career move for you to schmooze with her. Did you say that Yvonne's influence was essential to ensure your appointment as Democratic District, whatever it is?
Democratic District Leader. Those stairs are not going to be easy with my physical issues, but I will make the effort for you and Yvonne and my constituents. Wish me Godspeed.
Lou takes a brave, deep breath, crosses herself, and exits.
Trina, this is a giant leap forward.
I'm not doing this to get chummy with her. I'm inviting her solely to have access to her roof.
You and Yvonne have a lot in common. You're both impoverished artists.
Let's make one thing clear. Yvonne is not an artist. She was a hostess at a restaurant.
She's traveled the world. She's a sophisticate.
Everyone's life is more interesting than your own.
Well, I'll lay you 8-5. Yours is more interesting than mine. I mean, I know I have a bigger bank balance, nicer apartment. I can take a vacation now and then. But on the deepest level, I am the pitiful, sad sack sister.
Any objective observer looking at your life would call you a winner.
I've squandered my talent. I'm good. I'm more than good. You have no idea what kind of work I've been doing. I had a real breakthrough with my painting.
Well, I'd like to come up and see what you've been up to.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you would. You've been to my place exactly twice in 20 years. Not even when Jack died would you take the express train uptown.
What are you talking about? I was there.
Oh, yeah, maybe for an hour. I have it in me to do extraordinary things, but I've been criminally negligent. There was a place for me in the art world, I let fear dictate my choices.
You could never have lived my hand and mouth existence.
Oh, I could have. Should have made that choice. I settled for a paycheck.
It's not a choice. If you can even consider another route, then it's not a real calling.
Oh, don't you talk down to me. I'm not one of your sycophants.
I just want you to see that.
See what? See what? Who the fuck do you think you are?
Hey, Genevieve,
What?
Genevieve, it's me, Gloria.
Gloria?
Look at us. We're all grown up. You wanted to be an actress. I remember reading in the paper that you played Medea on Broadway.
Yeah, I won all those awards for it in London and New York, but I became frustrated playing a role. I had a longing to be myself. My husband and I have used this inherited fortune to set up a major philanthropic foundation, and our annual charity ball each year is the most coveted invitation of the season. Well, you were a talented artist. Is that what you ended up doing?
All I ever wanted. My work is in the permanent collections of the world's great museums, Prada, the Louvre. Numerous books and monographs have been written about my work.
I remember you painted children.
I did many paintings and drawings of wounded children, and they made my name. But then I went through a period where I found fault with my entire body of work. I dismissed it all as mediocre or without value. Never spoke about it to anyone. Why would I? What easy platitude could be of help? Who would understand? Who would even care? But what emerged out of that brutal self-appraisal was something I never expected. I've cast off all of the gimmicks and mannerisms of my early work. What I do now is honest and true. It is good that you're here tonight. We can bid each other farewell.
Who am I talking to? Gloria or Trina?
Trina, I'm going on a long voyage.
A voyage? Where are you going?
It's a standing invitation. When the aliens come, they're taking me back with them. Tonight.
End of scene. Scene 3, 15 minutes later. Trina and Hope are still waiting for Yvonne to come down and arrive. Hope is reading the Vogue magazine that she brought with her.
Sam and I lived with the knowledge that I'd be the chosen one.
The chosen one? The chosen one?
Yes, me, Trina. And recent studies have indicated that tonight would be the time for embarkation.
Don't give me recent studies. Be specific.
It's all based on the predictions and calculations of Copernicus, Nostradamus, hidden CIA files, and the writings of the astrophysicist Richard Pavlich.
Pavlich? That wacko who got kicked out of Princeton?
He's a sacrificial lamb. I couldn't for the life of me figure out where and how they would find me. And the landing strip is right above our heads. Yvonne's roof garden. It's made to order. And we can't get up there.
I think this is a sad fixation of yours of escaping the world. It's a death wish. Why can't you embrace life?
You got it all wrong. My life would begin away from here. Imagine a realm where there's no criticism, no end result to please, to make a buck, to grab the next breakaway from somebody else. To do your work enveloped in an aura of love and acceptance while gazing out at an endless, majestic vista, at once so complex and yet so simple.
Lou enters through the front door, huffing and puffing from the exertion.
Oh shit, she's not coming.
Lou opens the door, steps aside dramatically, and Yvonne enters.
So, this is how the room looks from inside. Now, where is she? I don't see her. Oh, hello, Trina.
Yvonne, welcome to 1A. So glad you could join us.
It was thoughtful of you to invite me. I was not as prepared as you.
Oh, we've met before. I'm Hope, Trina's sister.
Oh, my dear, you spit on me.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
And where have we met?
Oh, coming in and out of the building. You know, I don't live here.
Yeah, my love, would you mind not looming over me?
Do we have any idea what caused the blackout?
Well, perhaps, oh, how do Americans say it? Perhaps maintenance personnel unwittingly set a safety relay too low on one of the transmission lines.
How do you know about transmission lines and safety relays?
I was born with a scientific mind. I am something of an inventor. I have over a dozen patents registered with the United States Patent and Trademark Office.
Not just what? What have you invented?
Have you ever seen the windshield wiper?
You invented the
Ah! My table! My table!
This was your table.
How did it get in here? You stole it.
I did not.
My sister is not a thief.
It vanished and now poof, it's here.
You must have left the table out on the street.
Obviously, that's what happened.
Oh, absurd. Why would I do that?
I don't know.
You redecorated?
Well, it was a long time ago. Perhaps I did.
You shouldn't go around accusing people of theft.
I am not myself. I am out of sorts.
We all are.
I'll pour you a glass of wine.
Not to the brim.
Oh, it's cleared up the mystery of the table.
Well, that's a relief.
Here you go. It's only a third full.
Oh my, rather a fragrant perfume you're wearing.
Oh, it's Windsong by Prince Machiavelli. I hope it's not too much. After I trudged all the way up here from Midtown, I gave myself another spritz.
Well, it's never a good idea to use perfume to mask body odor.
Yvonne, you stay so youthful. What's your secret?
Oh, such a question.
It was meant as a compliment.
Would you like to see my social security number?
Between the three of us, we've been in this building at least 75 years.
The building's gone to the dogs. Frankel's a slumlord.
No, that is not true. He changed the lighting fixtures in the halls and fixed the front stoop. Now, if you have complaints, you should take it up with him. I am sure he would be interested.
He's not exactly a cuddly, forthcoming person.
He's a cold bastard.
That's not true at all. Now, I am terribly fond of Bobby Frankel. I have known him since he was a child. I knew his grandfather. And when he comes to check out the building, he drops by and we have a nice visit.
The two of you sit in the garden?
The weather permits. Oh, Bobby and I discuss books and current events, people in the building.
Gee, to be outside yet in your own home. Rare in this city.
Yvonne, are you hungry?
No, I've had my supper, thank you.
Well, I'm famished. I came directly from work. Trina, do you have anything in the fridge, you know, like crudité, cheese, pate?
How would I have any of that? I don't entertain.
Well, what about some emergency canned goods? You must have tuna fish.
That's for an emergency.
Well, darling, we're in an emergency.
She doesn't want to raid her doomsday stash.
Yeah, silly when we're sitting here starving. She's got 50 cans of Spam, tuna fish, and sardines socked away in case of a nuclear attack.
Oh, I know all about Trina's preparation for a nuclear attack.
You have to admit that we're on a direct course to extinction. That's a given. Is it so eccentric to brace ourselves for nuclear fallout and have a means for evacuation?
Evacuation? There would be no safe harbor.
Not on Earth. Not on Earth.
What do you want from me?
End of scene. Scene 4, a few minutes later. Hope and Lou are in the kitchen preparing food. They've contrived to let Trina and Yvonne be alone for a while.
What? My husband and I frequently heard you sing at the Scarlet Pimpernel so many times at the last minute we were compelled to throw on our coats and dash over.
Many times? I don't recall you being a regular. I knew everyone.
We sat at the bar. We were fixtures.
When the bar was to the side, visible to the performer, I'm sure I would have noticed you.
Maybe it wasn't at the bar. I guess we stood in the back. We weren't there for dinner. Some nasty wags did refer to the joint as the Ptomaine Palace, but we were there to hear you sing. And sing you did. All those marvelous French Piaf songs sung in English.
Man, I thought it ridiculous to sing in a foreign language to an English-speaking audience.
You clearly made the right decision.
They were, for the most part, lonely people, adrift from their families, their hometowns. They knew I didn't judge them, and I suppose that compensated for my lack of an upper register.
My husband was a great Edith Piaf fan. We have so many of her records. My hi-fi went on the fritz a long time ago. I should give these records to you. I've got so many record albums, even 78s. Some of them are extremely rare, but nobody wants to buy them. I've tried.
No, don't take them out.
Sam was a rapid francophile. Let's see here. Oh, we have Piaf, Patachou, Yves Montand, Lean Renault. You should take these.
No, I am also giving things away.
You sure? Well, I'd hate to throw them out.
No, I am quite sure. Please sit down, Trina. You're pitched so high tonight.
Sorry, I suppose I am.
Am I making you nervous?
You're contributing. A lot's happening. My sister's spending the night. It's the first time since we were teenagers. She's adorable, as you can see, vivacious, so smart, but she...
Well, puts you on edge.
Yes.
She's competitive with you.
What gave you that impression? We should speak softly. They're just over there in the kitchen.
Your shoulders tense whenever she opens her mouth.
My sister means well. I feel guilty criticizing her.
Oh, why is that?
She's not in the best of health.
She seems quite vigorous.
She has a rare form of slow-growing stomach cancer. She handles it with enormous fortitude. Frankly, it was her idea to ask you down here.
Oh, was it?
Well, she worries that I spend so much time alone. She thinks it would be to our mutual advantage to be friends.
Well, two adults can't be shoehorned into a friendship.
Hope thinks we have a lot in common.
Oh, really? Other than residing in the same apartment house?
Well, we're both artists.
I'm sorry, did you say artists? Well, music was only one aspect of my life.
Visual art is all I have, my only interest. Politics, social causes, even deep friendships weren't that important. It's been that way since earliest childhood.
Oh, were you encouraged by your parents?
My mother, she probably went too far. My simplest doodle on a notepad she'd regard as a masterpiece.
Ah, is she still with us?
Yeah, she's been gone over 20 years. I miss her so much. Yet I can't remember her voice. Isn't that peculiar? Her face, I can see as clearly as yours. Oh, how I wish I had a tape recording of her. Even a few words, just to hear her again. Some people thought she was too wrapped up in me, and I should have broken loose. Who could reject that kind of voracious love. I had no reason to rebel. And if I did, she would have thought even that was marvelous. To her, I was perfect. My hands were precious artifacts. It was a bit much. No rough housing with the other kids allowed. And despite her vigilance, I had a near catastrophe.
What, you hurt your hands?
Trina holds her right hand out for Yvonne to examine.
Wait, well, what am I looking for?
The finger is misshapen, and the pinky is paralyzed. You can still see faint surgical scars, almost like a butterfly.
You were in an accident?
When I was 12 years old, it was my mother's birthday, and my father went all out. We had very little money, but he took the whole family to a matinee and then dinner and splurged for a taxi to bring us home. It was the first time I'd ever been in a taxi. As I was getting out of the cab, my sister slammed the door on my fingers.
Oh, not intentionally.
I was rushed to Bellevue. Big part of my hand was nearly amputated. The doctors were miraculously able to save it. I would have been left with a stump, and it was my drawing hand.
Oh,
Lou and Hope come out with a platter of food, a few plates, some forks, and a roll of paper towel. They set up a buffet on the coffee table.
Well, what we're serving tonight is not exactly gourmet fare, but it has variety.
Trina, you should check the expiration dates on some of those cans.
How many cans have you opened?
Oh,
What, you're that hungry?
I taste a bit of this and a bit of that.
With my emergency provisions, well, you got some nerve.
Well, we have smoked oysters, sardines, niblet corn, and here you claimed you were so broke.
I got a lot of that stuff in the supermarket on Washington Street went out of business. They were practically giving the merchandise away. Are you sure you should be eating all this crap? Shouldn't you be on a bland diet?
Oh, I'll cry tomorrow.
I couldn't find any napkins,
I have no napkins.
so we'll make do with paper towels. In life, you gotta know how to improvise. That's one of my best traits and would be put to good use if I'm Democratic district leader.
Yvonne, you sure you don't want anything?
no, thank you.
Yvonne, I have to give you kudos. Really is big of you to come down here.
Big of me?
Yeah, it's big of you. Face it, we've had our tips.
Well, I don't recall ever exchanging angry words with you. I have rarely spoken to you at all.
Come on, it's ludicrous pretending as if nothing had gone down the pike.
Gone down the pike. I'm not familiar with that phrase.
We all know there was a history of conflict. Why dwell on it?
I don't intend to dwell on it, but if we're really gonna be friends,
Well, I didn't know we were going to be friends.
we're gonna be friends. We can help each other.
Trina
Trina.
pours herself some more wine.
Trina, you never drink. I think you're getting tipsy.
Now it's good for me. Yvonne, like I am content to move on. But if you could simply concede that you have, I'm choosing my words diplomatically, you have occasionally plotted against me.
Trina, I didn't expect this one.
I cannot admit to something that is not true.
Franklin told me that you have a list of grievances.
Trina, you're putting her on the spot.
I'm not putting her on the spot.
A list of grievances? I have a date book in which I jot down my thoughts. Your more outlandish activities have come to my attention.
Outlandish? I never thought of myself as outlandish. Lou, would you call me outlandish?
No, ma'am.
Just tell me one thing, Yvonne. Tell me one thing. How come you put the kibosh on me selling my paintings outside the building? This was before I was ripped by a gallery. That was my income.
Because it was tacky. Why must I live in a flea market?
My sister is a noted artist. She's in the permanent collection of the Museum of Modern Art.
Get past the neck braces and the wooden leg and you'll see how great she is.
Yes, well, I worked after the war with injured boys and girls. faces and bodies blown apart. I never found their wounds decorative.
So you admit you influenced the landlord to make me put away my paintings, huh?
Yes, I urged him to put an end to it.
How about this past summer when you called the police, had them banging on my door?
What? You never told me about this.
When it was after midnight and you were on the fire escape smashing mirrors with a hammer. I mean, half the neighborhood was shouting at you from their windows. And oh, what manner of civilized behavior is that?
He was breaking the mirrors to use as mosaic pieces to decorate my mantle. Look how it turned out.
Yes, but what would possess you to do such a thing after midnight?
You were making a racket.
Thank you, Lou. Last summer, I was working at the quilt shop from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had no other time. Why, Yvonne, why couldn't you have come down and calmly asked me to cool it? Why did you have to sick the NYPD on me?
I was not about to confront a mad thing when she's holding shards of glass.
The bomb shelter. Why you fight me on this?
But look, I am not willing to let my rent go sky high to accommodate your fantasies of a nuclear war.
You weren't even at the meeting.
What meeting?
We had a meeting last month in this apartment with the landlord, Frankel, and 7 other tenants, including Lou. And I provided them with blueprints on how to turn part of the basement into a bomb shelter. I've worked on this project for over a year. Frankel seemed interested. Am I not correct?
He didn't dismiss it out of hand.
But now his head is being turned by our friend here, who would not even dignify us with her presence.
I had Bobby read a statement expressing my concern that the cost of the bomb shelter would be amortized and added to our rent.
Wouldn't it?
Oh! Frankel wants the bunker. In the event of an attack, he'd join us down there. It's Yvonne who is hell-bent on thwarting me. Whatever I want, she has to oppose. Why do you do that?
I recall you had paranoid tendencies.
She has anxieties about the future. We all do.
Trina may not even be here. She has the goods about life on another planet. You never know. I mean, she could be onto something.
A fairy tale.
It is not. It is all verifiable.
My sister's childlike belief in UFOs and Looney Tunes, as it seems, is part of what makes her a great artist.
It is not Looney Tunes.
Well, Trina's positive that they're coming for her tonight.
You didn't tell me that. Why didn't you tell me? Are you packed?
I'm only taking extra underpants and my pastels.
Oh, now I see why you invited me down here. Ah, yes. The roof would be the natural place for your cronies to park their vehicle.
In full disclosure? Yes.
Yes. Well, yes. And if that was so, then it would destroy my entire garden.
From what I understand, this spacecraft don't generate heat or radiation, and they would be hovering above the garden with a gangway lowered to pick me up.
The answer is no. Now, there is an empty lot on Gansevoort Street, and you can meet them there. Oh, this is the most arranged conversation I have ever engaged in.
It's a moot point, since either way they would require a city permit.
So, just like that, over. Finito. You do enjoy setting yourself up as the high and mighty oracle.
Lou puts together a plate of food for Yvonne.
Others place me on a pedestal. I do not. And at the restaurant, I was merely the hostess, and yet the clientele turned me into Joan of Arc. I sing an old forgotten song, The Boulevard of Dreams, and somehow it becomes an anthem.
Well, you command a reverence. I've made you a little plate. This is what I used to do for my mother.
No. I said I wasn't hungry.
Lou trips on the rug and dumps the plate of food onto Yvonne's lap.
Oh, look what you have done.
You'll have to get this dry cleaned.
Yes, it's fresh. And I'll have to take it to an expensive cleaners that I can ill afford.
I'll pay for the cleaners. Oh, I'm such an ox.
You want to take it to Ramona, here, I can get you a robe.
No, I don't want to put on your robe. I told you I wasn't hungry. You didn't listen. Why don't people listen?
All right, this has gotten way out of hand. Let's all simmer down.
No, my dear, you're spitting on me again. Do you have difficulty with your dentures?
I don't wear dentures.
I gotta sweep up immediately. A crumb falls and a mouse makes an appearance.
Trina runs into the kitchen to get a broom.
Yvonne, I am so embarrassed. You have a niblet in your décolletage.
Oh.
You are such a symbol of integrity for me. Know that once I'm on board as Democratic District Leader, I will absolutely seek your guidance.
That will not be necessary.
Oh, I would be a fool not to exploit you as a resource.
It will not be necessary because you will not be Democratic District Leader.
Oh, no.
But I'm the only one who's volunteered for the post. And the bylaws clearly state that if only one person wishes to serve, he or she is automatically appointed without an election.
Yes, that is correct. But there was another person,
Who?
Hilda Breimer.
Hilda Breimer,
Wait, who's Hilda Breimer?
a retired nanny with a stutter, a debilitating stutter. You're putting me on.
No, Hilda is a steadfast guardian of this district.
But so am I. This is my turf.
Look, Hilda and I fought side by side for the 1961 zoning resolution.
Then I'll run against Hilda.
Oh, Lou.
I know the protocol. If more than one person is interested, then they each have to get 500 good signatures and enter a primary. I'm willing to do that.
No. You would need to support the support of the VID. No candidate can be appointed without the club's endorsement.
I've been a member of the VID from its very inception.
Yes, but the club is fully behind Hilda.
When did this happen?
An impromptu session was held 2 weeks ago.
An impromptu session? This is news to me. You were there?
I was on speakerphone, but when Hilda's name was brought up, it was unanimous decision.
Trina returns with a broom and dustpan.
It's because I'm gay, isn't it? It's because I'm a lesbian. I wasn't about to shout it from the rooftops. I can be discreet.
What's going on? What did I miss?
Lou's not going to be the Democratic District Leader.
Your being a lesbian did not enter the equation.
Well, what was it?
Oh, must I?
Yes.
All right. Your personality, they find you abrasive.
I'm tough. I'm ballsy. I get things done.
Oh, Lou, you are simply too much.
I can tone down.
No, you are who you are. You have a reputation for being a bully.
How am I a bully?
Oh, you physically assaulted a club member who disagreed with you.
Bob? He's the treasurer. He provoked me.
No. You cannot control your temper.
He's a 6-foot former phys ed coach. He kept riding me till finally I took a playful slug at him. I helped stop the bleeding and we laughed about it. The whole room laughed.
No, there was no laughter when you left the room.
Lou, let me get under your foot with the dustpan.
Yvonne, I was the only one who wanted the position. I know Hilda. You had to twist her arm to run. Please, Yvonne, nothing's been announced. Can't you call another meeting? Let me present my case before the club.
Oh, my dear, it's too late.
It can't be too late. I beg of you, Yvonne, I beg of you, give me a chance to plead my case.
Lou, don't do this.
I can't give up without a fight. I've told so many people I'd be humiliated. I was led to believe it was a done deal.
You should not have been given that impression.
My mom died last year. She saw things in me that other people didn't. And I wanted this for her as much as for me. Please, Yvonne, I beg of you. You can make this happen. Please, please, I beg of you.
Oh, Lou, there is nothing I can do.
You could have swayed them. I know you could have. And you weren't even in attendance. You were on a lousy speakerphone.
It is. I was on a speakerphone, but I offered no opinion.
This is how you get away with shit. You're made of Teflon. Nothing sticks. By denying me your support, you ended what would have been an entirely new chapter for me, and the neighborhood lost a valuable advocate.
Oh, Lou, if you are truly committed to public service, this will be merely a stumbling block. You will find other ways to serve. And what you desire, my dear, is a title. You wish to prove to your mother and to yourself that you aren't some disreputable character, but a person of merit.
Don't get all misty with me. I was put on trial without my even knowing it. A secret trial. Well, screw you, you sanctimonious cunt. You and all the others at the VID can shove it, along with a bottle of Heinz ketchup.
Lou storms out of the room and into the kitchen.
I don't ask that any of you like me. All of my life, I've acted as an independent operator.
We're a dream killer. How easy would it be for you to bring me upstairs?
Yvonne gets up to leave. Hope stops her.
Oh, forget about the aliens. Just let my sister see the garden. It would mean so much to her.
Don't beg for me.
Ah, the garden is something I hold dearly. It's a private place, and it is my right to share it or not.
Well, just tell us about the garden.
You want to be tortured?
Well, it changes with the season. Ah, there are a great variety of flowers that bloom in the fall and winter. And right now, in autumn, the colors are quite remarkable.
What are the flowers?
Oh, at the moment I have fuchsia japonica, yellow winter jasmine, red flowering quince, and my camellias. And when I used to go out in the evenings, I often wore camellias from my garden. I was even known affectionately in some circles as the lady of the camellias.
Saw that coming.
Well, have you had gardens before?
No. When I was a young child, I had a very strict governess, sadistic. I had done something that displeased her, and to punish me, she took me on the trolley far from our building to this small winding street, at the end of which was a cul-de-sac. It was gated, and she pushed my face into the black wrought iron gate and told me to look to the far right. There I saw a glimpse, just a glimpse, of the most exquisite garden full of color. Now, how could something of such beauty exist in a big gray city? Well, the governess told me I didn't deserve to look at anything beautiful because I was so bad. Well, with all my strength, I held on to the gate, but she pulled me away and we got back on the trolley car. And when I was older and able to travel about on my own, I searched and searched for that street, but I never could find it.
And yet, you would do the same thing to me.
Was this in Europe?
No,
By your accent, I assume you were born in France.
well, I lived in the south of France as an adolescent.
Well, Hope and I spent a summer in San Antonio when we were teenagers. You don't see me strutting around wearing a Stetson.
In the past, I would have stormed out of here in a huff. I'm not that person anymore. While I've been gone, has anyone else's life been destroyed?
Yvonne is telling us about how she got into gardening. What state was it were you in when you moved in?
Oh, a tangle of weeds and dead vines. But it was there. It was mine. Now, I knew nothing about gardening, so I took out a book from the library and I learned about insecticides and mulch and peat. And to my astonishment, I discovered I had a green thumb. Oh, but it saddened me when fall came around and nothing blossomed till spring. I then made it my task and was told it was impossible to create a garden that would be in bloom in all 4 seasons. Well, that demanded study, hard labor, and patience.
You did it all by yourself?
Oh, of course not. I don't have the strength to drag home a tree. But there was an attractive young couple who frequented the restaurant, and he was an aspiring landscape architect. His wife was a student of botany. Naturally, I sought their advice, and lo, it became their great project.
Will you still see them?
No.
Something bad happened? I can feel it.
Again, I was placed on a pedestal, and all of the orphans of the world at some point show up on my doorstep. I could not be all wise, all loving every waking moment, and when I wasn't, they became critical. In the end, nothing I could do was right. I did not ask to be old Mother Hubbard. But late one afternoon, up to my knees in muck, well, I must have uttered something that displeased them. And out of nowhere, the young woman began shrieking at me at the top of her voice. And then her husband joined in. And then the young woman smashed a terribly old ceramic pot. Well, I was frightened. You should have seen their flushed, angry faces. Well, the next day they left a message with my answering service, overflowing with remorse. I did not return their call or respond to their letters. Banished.
You used them and then tossed them in the garbage.
Is that what you took away from the story?
It didn't sour you against the garden?
Oh, nothing could do that. And I remain grateful for the work they put in.
You remain grateful? That chilled my blood.
All those hours of unpaid labor, they were invested in that garden.
But it's mine. It was abandoned, and I had the foresight to see what could be done. And I've worked myself to the bone, restoring it to a thing of beauty.
You've never entertained up there? I mean, what a location for a cocktail party.
Oh, the last thing I would ever do.
I don't understand the point of having it then.
I don't ask to be understood.
Why not invite people for just a quick peek?
A nice gesture to do for the tenants in this building.
Yeah, you have an open house, give them a brief tour, it's gonna kill you.
The 4th of July?
Half the people in this building don't have air conditioners. Give them a break.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend, the end of summer.
If it's a winter wonderland, then how about Christmas? You put lights on the trees.
Oh, Christmas, Arbor Day. Where is it stated that I must be registered with the National Park Service?
1 day a year.
Oh, I am in that Hitchcock movie, you know, about the birds, all of you pecking at me with your beaks and your claws. I was upstairs in my nightgown reading in bed with my flashlight. And when you knocked on the door and asked me to join you down here, well, my instinct was to decline, but then, oh, I thought, well, perhaps it is good to be among people, even Trina. But I see it was all a trap to settle old scores and amuse yourselves with my decrepitude and invade my privacy.
I thought we were doing a good thing.
I have been attacked. Mercilessly attacked.
This wasn't the way it was supposed to turn out.
Well, you have succeeded in making me cry. You can all feel gratified by your triumph.
Please don't go away angry.
Oh, yes, well, it was a dreadful mistake on my part. One must never act out of loneliness.
I find you incredibly alluring.
Yeah, perhaps when I do my hair and spend some time on my face.
Next to you, I feel so colorless, so ordinary, a big blah.
Come on now. You've never been ordinary. You're the stylish sister with the big personality.
I wanted to be the talented sister, living in someone's shadow. You take it and accept your fate. But I'll tell you, it burns in the pit of your stomach. Our parents saw me as the other child. To my mother, I barely existed. I once enrolled in an advanced baking class just so I could make her a Carpathian mountain cream cake. Extremely labor intensive. She wouldn't touch it.
My mother was old. Her taste buds were gone. She could barely eat. She was down to 85 pounds.
This is my turn. My turn. Yvonne, our parents were strict atheists. They brought us up to have faith in ourselves. But how is that possible when you have been led from birth to seeing yourself as second Beth? I have been condemned for begrudging my sister's talent. I'm supposed to stand aside and politely cheer her on. I have tried. I don't want to be her. I long to be my own person with my own achievements, but damn it, she always has a way of getting in there before me.
Yvonne puts her arm around Hope in a surprisingly tender and maternal manner.
Such a sad child.
You don't want to be me, huh? With a straight face, you can say that you don't want to be me.
I want the respect you've attained, but I don't want to be you.
Then why have you copied everything I've ever done?
I never copied you. How have I copied you? Look at the two of us.
All of our lives you copied whatever I've done or stolen whatever I had. Our mother had to buy 2 of the same dresses, identical dolls, you name it, so Hope would have a raging fit. I'm talking violent fit. You had no interest in drawing until you saw that I received some attention for my artwork in school. I took up pastels. You took up pastels. I began to work in watercolor. You bought a watercolor set. Put our painting side by side, and there's the same use of negative space, the same color choices.
No, you're the only one allowed to use orange and mauve. I've never exploited crippled children.
Yeah, well, you paint old whores, but they might as well be children with the wide faces and snub noses. And the use of multimedia. You didn't start adding pencil notations until I started doing it.
No one but you can use pencil?
You've left out all the myriad ways my work is completely different from yours.
When I dyed my hair blonde, you became a blonde. I dyed my hair black, you dyed your hair black.
For the record, it was chestnut brown.
The photo on the box may have been chestnut brown, but on you it looked black, and that was the ultimate goal. If I found a friend, you had to claim them as your own. And look at Lou. She was invisible until you saw that she meant something to me. When we were young, you used to go around declaiming you'd never marry. Oh, you wanted to be independent. Barely a month after I married Sam, you met Jack, and within 3 weeks, you were at City Hall.
Oh, how thoughtless of me. I fell in love. You know, I didn't check the schedule.
Yeah, and Sam died. 3 months later, Jack died.
Are you saying Jack had a fatal heart attack to irk you?
I don't know what I'm saying. At that moment, I needed 100% sympathy. And what I got was, oh, how awful for the 2 of you.
Poor Trina.
Yes, poor Trina. I've endured a lifetime of digs and accusations, and I've never struck back. I promised Mama I never would. These were her words. Watch over your sister. She's so vulnerable. But be on your guard. She's uncontrollably jealous of you.
Stop this, Trina. Stop it now.
She said that? Mother said that? Proof of the way I was demonized.
You tried to get my drawing hand amputated.
That was an accident.
The doctor didn't think so. The hospital social worker didn't think so.
I was 10 years old. I have never been in a taxi cab. I couldn't see that your hand was still holding on.
You were jealous. You were jealous of my relationship to Mama. You were jealous of my drawing talent. You knew how she cherished it. You wanted to destroy that talent.
That's not what happened. That's how the story got around. That became the truth. Mother couldn't blame herself. What parent would get out of the car first? So she blamed me. It got to the point where I wasn't sure what really happened. You don't think that that's haunted me?
Over and over, she tried to relieve you of any guilt.
To my face! But I heard her whisper to people that I did it on purpose. I knew from the way the neighbors treated me like I was some kind of devil child.
There was something wrong with you.
Oh, I wasn't born difficult. Nobody's born difficult. It was the way I was treated from the cradle.
You were always trouble.
Oh, and I'm supposed to be the bitch. Maybe when you were young, I did copy you, the great prodigy, a discarded child's attempt to get her parents to love her a little.
They put up so much from you. You wore them out. It's very telling that you weren't speaking to either of them at the time of their deaths.
Yes, very telling.
Well, you've worn me out. I've never felt at ease with you. I dread the times we get together. What am I going to do that will set you off? When will I have to start apologizing? You think I was a star? I was never the center attraction. It's been you, your failures, your rages, your envy, my endless crimes against you. I've made so many allowances. Oh, the poor darling's battling cancer. Oh, she handles it so well.
Are you currently on chemotherapy?
No, it wasn't necessary.
Or have you had any surgery?
It wasn't necessary.
Well, who is your doctor? What hospital?
I don't want to go into this now, please.
Well, I can be of help. I know about these things.
Well, it's not exactly cancer per se. It's a condition. It's a sensitivity.
A sensitivity.
A sensitivity to particular foods, shellfish.
What?
This sort of sensitivity to shellfish, which could make me susceptible to cancer.
Could make you. So you stay away from clams and lobster. That's a hardship?
Well, for a long time, I thought it was cancer.
Yeah, like you thought you had MS, TB, epilepsy, and lupus. You put on this act all the time, just to keep me awake at night, to make me feel guilty for being who I am. That is despicable.
You should count your blessings. You have a healthy sister, fucked up as she is.
I never actually stated that I had cancer, but that's the way you chose to hear it. You wish I had a terminal disease. You had me buried. Trina, I've always known you resented me. As a kid, you feel these things, but not the extent of your hatred. Yvonne, may I go up to the 6th floor and see the garden and then jump off the roof? May I do that, please?
You won't kill yourself.
Oh, you want to bet?
Yeah, you won't kill yourself because you're waiting until I kill myself first.
You would deny me my own suicide.
Then do it. Do it. Do something original. Go on and do it.
Hope reaches out and grabs Trina by the throat, but Luke catches her just in time. The sudden burst of violence shocks them all into a breathless silence.
I'm stunned. For once, it's not me blowing my topper.
Where does it get us?
You have to reestablish your superiority.
My superiority. I shouldn't even be calling myself an artist. That's a sick joke.
And why is that?
An artist makes art. I haven't done it.
The gallery has ceased representing you?
Those pricks. They let you go?
They let you go? The gallery let you go?
They weren't selling anything, so in desperation, I started hawking my work down on Christopher Street. I was technically in violation of the exclusivity clause in my contract.
Well, that shouldn't stop you from expressing yourself, repugnant though it may be.
What stops me, Yvonne, is that I'm not as good as I thought I was. Now, my work is fine, better than a lot of talented people. But I had such confidence that I possessed unlimited potential. I assumed that one day I would have my fill of drawing battered children and go on to do my great work, my real work, my work of substance. But now I've arrived at the sorry conclusion that I don't have it in me. This is it. As an artist, I'm an intriguing oddity, a treehouse made out of macaroni, the world's smallest jigsaw puzzle.
I don't like hearing you talk this way. You're my idol.
My one love has been my imagination. I admired Sam, but I never loved him. It was my creativity. That was the great love. And I feel betrayed. I really do. Betrayed by myself. I'm as good as I'll ever be. I can continue to set a specific challenge, but I know the end result. Not good enough. Not to me. Well, no, I haven't totally given up. I've had one hope, ludicrous though it may seem. I've clung to the possibility that I could derive some joy in my work again if I was embraced by beings from another solar system. Maybe that would catapult me out of this profound disappointment in myself. I never told you this, Hope, but when I was 9 years old, I had a visitation, and you were in the room.
We've now opened a door to the sublet to the Twilight Zone.
It may have simply been a dream. I've tried to convince myself that it was, but I remember it so vividly. It was a hot summer night, and we had the windows open. Hope was asleep in the next bed. I lay there wide awake, as if I was waiting for something incredible to happen. Then shortly, before the sun came up, the room became suffused with light, and whoosh, there they were.
Weren't you terrified?
My only fear was that Hope would wake up and steal the experience.
How many were there?
3, but they floated around me till I couldn't tell where one end and the other began. They gently turned me this way and that and moved my limbs around. I felt weightless, as if I were swimming in the ocean. And it was all about me. I was the absolute center of their attention. They were mesmerized by my hands. They kept lightly caressing my fingers, almost as if they were bathing them with light. It wasn't long after their visit that I began to draw. Not merely childish scribbling, oh, impressive for my age, but real talent. Mother insisted that it was inherited from her father, who was a skilled tinsmith. But it was the visitors. They had anointed me as the girl who draws. It was their gift to me, and I never took it for granted. From then on, I was consumed with a fever to sketch all the people in the building, on the street, the park, the view from every window. I would draw on any surface. If we had rolls of paper towel back then, I would have drawn a mural 30 feet long. Before they left that night, they communicated without words that I would receive a visit again in the future. That silent vow has sustained me, and the memory of my mother's love, a pure, powerful beam of love. She's gone. And now I'm afraid the visitors may never come. Every night I pray that this might be the moment when they return and find me. And I pray that I'll be worthy of them.
Well, thank you for a most entertaining evening.
Yvonne heads to the door.
You should take a lantern.
Now I have my flashlight.
Yvonne turns, looks at the group of lost souls, and makes a most appropriate decision.
I walk along the street of sorrow, the boulevard of broken dreams, where Gigolo and Gigolette can take a kiss without regret, so they forget their broken dreams. Here is where you'll always find me, always walking up and down. But I left my soul behind me in an old cathedral town. The joy that you find here you borrow. You cannot keep it long, it seems. But Gigolo and Gigolette still sing a song and dance along the boulevard of broken dreams. I know I shouldn't. No doubt I'll regret it. But come upstairs with me. You can see the garden. For 5 minutes.
You're gonna let us see it?
Well, it's all in shadow.
We can bring lanterns.
Yeah, if each of us carries a lantern, it'll be flooded with light.
One lantern will suffice.
Should we bring the wine?
You will bring nothing.
Lou and Hope follow Yvonne to the door, but Trina remains seated on the sofa.
Trina, come on, before she changes her tune.
I'm staying here.
What's with you? This is what you wanted.
I don't know. I can't.
Well, why not?
Shouldn't you be scouting out the joint? I mean, the UFO could show up any minute.
They're not coming. They've lost interest in me.
How can you say that?
I would have had to do something to deserve that honor. Something great.
Trina, you'll come up some other time during the morning when it's sunny.
I don't understand you at all.
I could draw a precise map of the garden down to the last detail, the flowers on the trellis, the carvings on the fountain. I've given it so much thought.
Yeah, and?
Nothing can compare to the garden as I see it in my imagination.
Oh, please. Now that's the most pretentious thing I've ever heard.
Maybe it'll be better.
She doesn't want to go. Come on.
Hope and Lou walk to the door.
Trina, you're going to be okay.
Yvonne, thank you.
Yvonne takes a hold of Trina's hands.
Ah, such elegant hands, strong, the hands of an artist.
Yvonne gently kisses Trina's hands and exits. She's followed by Lou. Hope, staring at her sister, considers making a final statement, but changes her mind and exits. Alone, Trina picks up the roll of paper towel. She studies it for a moment and then clears everything off of the coffee table. She rips off a long piece of paper towel and spreads it over the table. She then picks up a ballpoint pen and begins drawing with the simplicity of a child. We have no idea what she's working on, and it doesn't matter. She's clued in. There is a magical flickering of otherworldly lights outside her window. End of the play. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening for TNC On the Air. And please remember to donate what you can at theaterforthenewcity.net. Now I'm going to bring back our fabulous cast. Here we have Charles Busch and Julie Halston and Becky London and Ruth Williamson. And we're so happy to see everybody. Thank you, ladies. You were all fantastic.
Thank you, Carl.
And
Thank
Charles.
you, Carl.
And now we're going to bring back Crystal Field for one more second. I think if we can get her to come. Here she comes. I think. There she is. There she is. Hi, Crystal.
Indeed. And we are so pleased and proud to have this play with us. And yes, don't forget to donate, because when we open, we want to make this play part of our 2021 season. And don't forget that we are opening our street theater August 1st. That's a Saturday at 2 o'clock. We will be online because they're not giving out permits in August. We have 3 performances in September, and we hope that those will be able to be done in the parks. The play and the musical is called Liberty or Just Us. And with that said, the wonderful cast of Visitors in the Dark and the brilliant director, Carl Andress, and our most prized author, Charles Busch, say to the audience, au revoir, mais non adieu, which means goodbye, but not farewell, till we meet again. Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, everyone.